Alright, so I've got the system not really working hard, but it's on anyways. Got her projecting, and I put a piece of equipment in there that I stole from the sciences called Little Tempy. And Little Tempy says it's 99.90 degrees. So, Little Tempy is apparently a logging device. So I'm hoping that I might be able to get some kind of readings off of that if I can figure out what they're using to data log. So after I'm done with this test, I'll return it back to the sciences. But in the meantime, oops, sorry for smacking you. The sensor is up here. Well, you can't really see anything. Hold on a second. The sensor, I just twisted it up and around the bar here, and the tip of the sensor is hanging out in mid-space, so it's basically an uninterrupted test. I could have put it against the case itself, because the case itself gets pretty hot, but I mean, that would be kind of like balancing the scales. So I figured just having it out in the open area where everything is, that's a good enough of a test to give a proper, true temperature. One of the other things that I had done, because I think this was producing some kind of convective heating. This was really super hot when this case was slid straight over. So this case was over here, and then it had like a 1/4 of an inch on this side, and then it had like a huge gap on this side, but the huge gap on this side was blocked by a microphone. So I took the microphone out of there, and I put the, well, not a microphone, a microphone amplifier. I put the microphone amplifier in the back, and then I slid this over close to this side so that there's airflow at least coming around the case. This was actually hotter before. So this has a pretty good amount of space on this side now, so at least air can kind of circulate around the case, because that dividing wall there doesn't go all the way back. The dividing wall is open here, so it's got full circulation. But I think it still is going to need some kind of a kicker fan or something to send the heat out through the front. So I was just going to run this for a few more minutes, see if I could get the temperature to change. But it seems like 99.90 is about where it's stopping right now, which is still better than what it was before, because it was well over 100 with this door on, and now it's just up to 100. So there's that. All right, so the front of this rack, there's a little bit of a gap on the top. But like you can feel the wood on this rack is really hot. I almost think that the top of this rack should either be taken off or opened up in some way so that the heat can at least get out and maybe make a run for the outside. Because right now, there's 3 sides on this, and that basically keeps all the heat trapped in, and the only possible escape for the heat is right here in this little tiny gap. The rest of this is all filled in with the machine. So there's not really much way for the heat to come out of the front of the case, and it's being trapped in the back of the case isn't doing it any good. But we're holding it 99.90, so I think that's a good of enough test for me for right now. I'll go and return that data logger. And just for the record, that data logger was turned off when I found it, so I'm not ruining anybody's testing or anything. See you later. I just wanted to show off Little Tempy before I bring it back. Pretty simple little setup. Somebody hand soldered it. I'm not sure if it was a kit or they just breadboarded and stuck it together from parts that they had on the shelf, but yeah, what a cool little device. Got a little a separate battery. Whoops. Flip over there, Little Tempy. So you just flip your switch on. I assume that that's initializing the logger, and I should probably turn around because I was upside down. It's got a USB port on the side, I assume that's for configuration and data logging. I doubt that it's got Wi-Fi on it. It doesn't look like there's any kind of Wi-Fi chipset or anything on here. I don't know for sure, but I'm willing to bet on it. Cool little device though. Anyways, gotta go return this little fella before somebody notices it's missing.